What's up, guys? Chris Colgan here with episode 10 of Real NoVa Network. As usual, we've got all kinds of stuff from a brand new medical school coming to gas taxes, and I'm also going to tell you why some magazines think Middleburg is Virginia's best fall town. Spoiler alert, they're right, but your wallet might not be thrilled. Let's jump into the video. All right, so let me start with something that could actually shake up Northern Virginia's healthcare and housing. Mary Washington Healthcare and the University of Mary Washington just announced a $200 million medical school coming to Fredericksburg. This is the first new medical school in Northern Virginia in decades, and they're aiming to open in 2029. Here's why it matters. If you own property or you are thinking about buying, Northern Virginia has been losing doctors for years. We train them, they leave. We recruit them from somewhere else, and eventually they leave too. And speaking of places people don't want to leave, wait until you hear what people are dropping in Middleburg. I'll get those numbers soon. Now, this new school creates a pipeline of doctors who actually know the local market and are way more likely to stick around long term, and the investments are already rolling in. They're even building a new conference center as part of the whole educational plan. I've been telling people to watch Fredericksburg, and this news proves everything I've been seeing. It's 20 minutes south of Northern Virginia's chaos, but you're gonna have a major medical center anchoring the whole region. So if you've been sleeping on that market, it's definitely your wake-up call. Now, before we go deeper, do me a favor. Do you want the inside scoop on everything Northern Virginia real estate before everyone else hears it? From medical school news to luxury market shifts to infrastructure plays that changed our entire region. We break down the story smart investors track. Hit subscribe to get that market edge. All right, Virginia's gas tax reality check. Okay, here's what Virginia's drivers are really paying compared to everyone else. Virginia ranked 9th in the country for gas tax. We're paying about 41.6 cents per gallon to the state. That puts us just behind Maryland at 46.2 cents per gallon. But here's the crazy part. Even with those high taxes, we're still paying less at the pump than Maryland and DC. And if you think gas taxes are high, wait until you see what's happening in horse country. People are spending more on boarding their horses than most families actually pay for rent. Trust me, I've seen some of these barns before, and I'll break down that crazy story for you soon. Now, Virginia prices are sitting between $2.55 and $2.59 per gallon in places like Danville and Roanoke, while Maryland is hitting $2.74 and $2.83, and DC is anywhere from $2.87 to over $3 a gallon. So from a housing perspective, this stuff matters when people are calculating their commute costs. That house in Gainesville versus something closer and gas prices are part of that math. But honestly, I don't know what's happening over there in Maryland because we're getting hit with higher taxes and somehow we're still coming out ahead at the pump. Still, when families are deciding between that extra 20-minute drive for more house, these daily costs add up. Just something to factor in when you're shopping around for a property. But speaking of projects that have been way too long in the making, here's a memorial park that might finally get the funding it deserves. This story has been over 10 years in the making. It's about time something finally moved. Occoquan District Supervisor Kenny Bodie is asking Prince William County for $300,000 to fund the phase of Charlie Boone Trails Bike and Skate Park over in Woodbridge. Charlie Boone was a 22-year-old Lake Ridge resident who died by suicide in 2012. He loved skateboarding and biking, but he struggled with depression, partly after seeing the skate areas he grew up in tore down. I mean, I remember Woodbridge used to be a huge skate community. I think they might have actually had one of the first ever Vans skate parks. Here's the thing, his mom Wendy has been fighting to get this park built since 2016. The county gave them the land, 5 acres of Everest Park Lane, but raising money for the actual construction has been the tough part. The whole project's gonna cost around $1.5 million, covering the skate park, bike course, parking, bathrooms, and everything. And here's why this matters for real estate. When counties put serious money behind community amenities like this, it shows where they think the growth is happening. Woodbridge has been getting steady investments lately, and stuff like this matters when young families pick where to live. Kids want places with things to do. Parents want safe community spaces. The fact that Bodie is moving from you guys fundraiser to let the county handle this says a lot about priorities and the budget. And speaking of smart land moves, here's how Prince William County just locked down 22 acres that will never be developed. All right, yeah, so you heard that right. Prince William County bought Civil War battlefield land to expand the Bristow Station Battlefield Heritage Park. They closed the deal earlier this year in August, bringing the park to over 160 acres. The land saw fighting in both the Battle of Kettle Run in 1862 and the Battle of Bristow Station in 1863. The American Battlefield Trust has been holding onto it until the county could actually take it over. The plan is to restore how it looked in 1863 and add new trail systems for better access. Now here's where the real estate angle that most people miss. When land gets permanently preserved like this, especially 22 acres in the middle of a growing area with all the data centers, of course, that 22 acres that will never be developed pretty much anytime ever. No traffic, no strip mall, no data centers, no apartment complex, and if you own property near Bristow, you just got a permanent green buffer. Historic preservation sounds nice, but from a property value standpoint, it actually is pretty valuable. Protected land keeps development pressure off nearby neighborhoods and keeps that character that people pay extra for. Plus, Bristow is already great for commuters, and now you've got a guaranteed open space that's never going away. Next, let me tell you about a place people pay top dollar for that exact kind of history and character. All right, so no shocker here. Southern Magazine just called Middleburg the best fall town in Virginia, and honestly, they're not wrong, but let me tell you what that lifestyle there actually really costs. We're talking stone walls that have been standing since before your great-grandparents were born, multi-million-dollar horses grazing in pastures, and mountains exploding in colors that make you want to pull over and take a picture for Instagram. The Red Fox Inn has been around for 300 years. JFK gave speeches upstairs. Elizabeth Taylor had her favorite room, and Civil War soldiers got patched up in what is now a bar. But here's the real talk on pricing. You're looking at $800,000 just to get in on like the smallest home. I think Middleburg has an average sales price of like $1.8 million to $3 million, something crazy like that. The new residents at Salamander are attracting people who could live anywhere, but they choose a Middleburg. I mean, those houses are going for multi-million-dollar properties. It's really beautiful. Like, you're just sitting there, right? You see the houses, they almost look like horse barns, and then you got the beautiful Salamander Resort right behind it. Plus, it's only 20 minutes away from Dallas Airport, but it feels like you're in another century. Horse farms, wineries like Boxwood and Cannon winning international awards, and restaurants that would make DC chefs jealous. The Salamander Resort definitely changed the game when it opened in 2013. 340 acres, 23,000 square foot spa, stables where guests can board their horses, and raise the bar without killing that small town charm. From a market perspective, horse country real estate holds its value because they're not making any more of it. These rolling pastures and gentleman farms, that's it. But if you're paying for a lifestyle, and if you want to live somewhere magazines write about where your morning run might take you past a vineyard or a fox hunt, and where your kids grow up around real history instead of cookie cutter suburbia, Middleburg, Virginia definitely delivers. Just know what you're getting into price-wise. This isn't Reston or Ashburn. This is for people who choose character over convenience and are willing to pay for it. All right, guys, those are the wild stories for this episode. What do you think? Are you bullish on Fredericksburg now that they're getting a medical school? Does Virginia's gas tax situation make sense to you? And are you tempted to buy the Middleburg lifestyle, even if it costs you your whole family's fortune? Drop a comment and tell me which story grabbed your attention. And hey, if you're thinking about making a move anywhere in Northern Virginia, whether it's jumping on Fredericksburg before everyone else catches on, or finding something in Woodbridge near those new amenities, shoot me a message, info@colganteam.com. I'd love to help you figure out what's really happening out there. Of course, make sure you smash that subscribe button to help me out with the YouTube algorithm for weekly update stories that actually move Northern Virginia's property values. So guys, we'll see you at the top or from the top.